Great game from great second half from Portland State. Got to tip our caps to them. We were a little frustrated at halftime. We didn't have a bigger lead. Defended really well, didn't shoot it, didn't finish some of our transition opportunities. And then we challenged our guys at halftime that Coach Perry was going to get them fired up to come at us in the second half. And unfortunately, we didn't have the same defensive focus or energy and intensity. And they made it a hell of a game. We missed a lot of shots. We missed free throws. But that's the deal with this squad. We have a very small margin for error, no matter who we're playing. And those are some things we've got to clean up moving forward. But proud of the guys, that made plays down the stretch to pull it out for us.
Wayne, your defense in the last 4 minutes, what did you see out of that stretch of the game where you really had to kind of make some plays?
Well, we were making some wrong bumps and reads and not getting hands up on shooters. That got them going. And they were driving us and getting and ones in the paint. We got a lot of momentum. But down the stretch at the 4-minute timeout, we just said, hey, we've been here before. Now let's make the plays to close this thing out. And we contested without fouling. We kept the ball in front of us. Just way more energy and focus to the way we're supposed to play. And then we made plays offensively. Big basket for Rodrigue. And then Jared and Warith's free throws were huge.
Hey, Wayne, the games have been spread out in time, but how do you like the way the defense has been the last 2 games since you really were focusing on it after the pilot game?
I'm really, really happy with it, other than the way we came out in the second half. We were really good last week. We were really good the first half tonight, and then down the stretch. Again, I want to give credit to Portland State. They kept fighting. They made some big shots. They got to the rim on us, and we were a little disappointed. We didn't have any block shots or charges, and we were fouling guys and letting them score, and that gave them all the energy they needed to believe that they could get back in the game.
Wayne, you mentioned Rodrigue's basket, but obviously he doesn't bring a lot of offense. But how about just seeing that guy get that basket at that point in time?
Well, we knew when we had that timeout, we knew from the possession before what his matchup was going to be. So we ran a little different play out of our box, which we hadn't executed in some of those early games as cleanly, and the guys executed it. I think we ran Zach off and then ran somebody off and then somebody to the corner, and we knew we would have a really good matchup with Rodrigue on the block, and he took his time, got right underneath the basket and went up and scored it. So I think his presence on the glass, a little bit defensively, really helped, and that's going to help with his confidence moving forward. Look at Warith with a double-double was big for us. And so we got some key performances from some guys on a night when we didn't get it from everybody necessarily.
Coach, you've had a couple games now where it comes down to those final last possessions. What was the mentality and what was the mindset in those final timeouts to get your team energized?
Well, the players were awesome. They just kept saying, hey, we're going to get this. Hang in there. Nobody panic. So I credit our guys for really bringing that tone to the timeouts, and the staff. We just hung in there and knew, that it was a shame we let things get away from us. Same thing happened with this team last year. We got up big and let them come back in it. But hey, we've been here now. Let's make the plays down the stretch. We said several times in those last couple of timeouts, and we were able to do it. So, again, this is a win. We're a young team. We're trying to learn all about ourselves. We're trying to learn what our rotations are going to be. But we're finding ways. And if our guys continue to hang together and we keep building and we keep getting the leadership from our older guys, I think we're a team that can still win games when maybe not everybody's having their best game. And that's good for us moving forward to learn those lessons here.
Does the quest for more non-conference games continue, or do you settle into conference play?
We'll definitely search. We need at bats. I mean, plain and simple. We need plate appearances. So if we can find another game somewhere when we have a little bit of a gap, I know we're supposed to save some of those in case we lose some of our league games, but certainly we'll search. And I just found out that we still could have had scrimmages. So we may even have some scrimmages. We'll see what we can do.
Well, and if you guys aren't able to find another game between now and jumping back into conference play, what do you see as your focuses in practice?
Oh, we won't be able to squeeze one in before league because of the testing protocols when we come back from break. So Stanford will be our next one, but we've got to continue to improve defensively, not have those breakdowns. Communication's a big part of it. These guys continuing to grow together, so that trust and communication's there. And then offensively, I told the guys in the locker room I let it get a little bit sloppy in the second half offensively, and then when we got back to executing stuff, that's when we were making plays. So we'll get dialed in and what we think we need to do as a package, and then obviously tweak it depending on who our opponents are. Thanks a lot. Go Beavs. Merry Christmas, everybody.
A frenetic comeback.
Hey, Zach. Obviously, Portland State made a pretty good run at you guys there a couple times in that second half, but when it got to that 4-minute mark, in that timeout there, do you feel like that the coaches kind of had your guys' attention for what you needed to do going forward there?
Yeah, but that's on us. I mean, we should have never let it get to that point. They were the aggressor the second half, and we kind of let them keep getting back in the game. And so, that's not on the coaches to switch that around. That's on us. So.
Zach, how frustrating is it? I mean, obviously it is, but what's it like when you think you're playing, then you're not, then you have to wait, you get a game? Has it just been one of the toughest seasons you've been around?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely weird, but nothing, no one's going through, so we're not the only ones. But our job is just to come to practice every single day, get better, stay prepared, and when our name's called, and we're ready.
Zach, what did you see there in that second half that allowed Portland State to get back in it?
We weren't in our gaps defensively. In the first half, they could not really get in the paint, especially number 2. And we did a good job on 23. And then the second half, we kind of just let them get in their comfort zone, get downhill, get and ones, penetrate and kick. We weren't on shooters. So it's a good lesson. Glad we can learn from a win and not a loss, but it's something we need to fix now. So because we can't get away with that in league whatsoever. So we got to stay. We're a team that needs to stay disciplined the entire game. And we were really good in the first half defensively, held them to 17 points, and I think they ended up with like 62. And so that's that's unacceptable for us. And I'll put that on me and E for allowing it to get to that point, being the seniors and being the leaders. So should have never gotten to that point. But you got to give credit to them for being the aggressors in the second half.
Zach, when you look back to this entire year, from March, everything getting canceled, to the uncertainty of the season, whether it be basketball, family, school, what has this year 2020 taught you?
Just to stay prepared and be resilient. Adapt whenever anything is thrown at you. You just got to adapt and stay tough and be prepared for it, and just roll with what you got. So I think that's the biggest thing I've learned.
Zach, Warith has shown he can do a little bit of everything, and certainly did that today. What's that like, having a guy like that on your team who can contribute in so many ways?
Makes all the difference in the world when you have someone who can do everything. I think I haven't looked at the box score or anything, but I think Coach Tinkle said he had a double-double. With some of the offensive boards, I think that was the biggest thing today. He had some key offensive boards, free throws, putbacks. And just his energy out there makes a difference in the game. So I think his intangibles are really good as well. He does a lot of things that don't show up on the stat sheet, and I think that's what a lot of people don't see. Obviously, a lot of people just look at the box score after the game and see who played well, and all that. I think with him and with a lot of guys on our team, they do a lot more than just score or rebound or pass. There's leadership and energy and all that you can bring within a team. I think that's key. So he does a great job of that as well.
Warith, how about that last 4 minutes? Obviously, Portland State had made a couple different runs at you there in the second half, but do you feel like the coaches at that point had your attention as far as what you needed to do in that last stretch there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The emphasis was on defense. We was allowing them to score too much in the second half, so we had to adjust defensively.
And I guess what did you see in that second half that allowed Portland State to kind of get back in it there?
Kind of like what Zach said, we wasn't really in our gaps. We was allowing penetration, so we have to do better on that.
You feel like you guys are better defensively overall in the last couple of games?
Yes, sir. I think our chemistry is starting to like improve, and we're starting to have each other's back.